everybody, it's Christine. Welcome back to my channel. I'm doing my weekly wrap-up, and as you can see by the picture, it's huge. My son read this and loved it, and so I picked it up, and I have to say it wasn't the best, but it's Ghostopolis by Doug TenNapel. It's a graphic novel about a terminal kid that gets pulled into the, what is it they called it? The ghostly world. And inadvertently by a ghost wrangler named Frank Gallows. And so Garth, the boy that gets pulled in, meets up with his grandfather's spirit, and they kind of have to find a way to get him home. Yeah, I give it a 3. It wasn't the best. Although, you know, the graphics weren't too bad. But yeah, so that was that one. Then I was reading to my son The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena by R.L. Stine, and it's about a father, son, and daughter who go to Alaska to take pictures of the abominable snowman that nobody believes exists, or well, the people in Alaska believe that he exists, and things go on from there. I let him rate the books that I read to him, so he rates everything a 5 because he loves them. Then we read Miss Clute is a Hoot by Dan Gutman and Jeff Pyatt, I think is his name, Jim Pyatt. And this is about a therapy dog, Miss Clute, and the kids kind of get to know the dog and want to spend all this time with the dog. And then we went on to read Mrs. Lane is a Pain, and this one is about a talent show that is being held, and Mrs. Lane is brought in to kind of organize it, get it ready, and yeah, it's kind of funny. So then I was doing a buddy read with Elena from Elena Reads Books, and we read Gone with the Wind, and she went ahead and finished it because she just couldn't wait. And I finished it on Saturday, and I gave this book a 5. As you can see, I had lots of moments. I hated Scarlet as a character. She's a narcissistic, egotistical princess who lives in a fantasy world, and reality just doesn't sink in until it's too late. The story, and I really loved Rhett's character. I found him to be very intelligent when it came to things, and he could read Scarlet like an open book before Scarlet even knew. And there was way more to this book than I was ever under the impression of. I thought the whole entire story was about Scarlet and Rhett, and boy was I mistaken. But I did get a lot out of this book personally, so this was definitely a win for me. And by the way, it's by Margaret Mitchell. And I'm hoping to get a copy of Scarlet. Margaret Mitchell did not write the sequel to it, but gave permission for somebody else to write the sequel, and it is called Scarlet. And I'm hoping to get a copy of that one. And yeah, I gave this a 5. It was just astounding. Wow. I think if I wasn't doing a buddy read, I would have read it a lot faster. And it's over 1,000 pages long. But yes, definitely worth a read. And I also want to thank Elena for doing the buddy read with me. I had loads of fun, and I hope to do one with you again soon. Then I was also, in the second week, last week, I did a buddy read with Alana from Alana Reads Books, or Alana Reads, sorry, Pamela from Puffy Books, and one of my subscribers, Jean Johnson. And all the links will be down below for everything. And I also want to thank Elena for putting me onto Voxer, because it's great. I had so much fun doing the chit-chats back and forth with both of my buddy reads, and because of that, the group of girls that I did the buddy read for this book We're keeping the chat open and doing other buddy reads. So thank you, Elena, for that. But I did read The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner, and did I give it a 5? I think I did. I got a lot out of this one as well, and I even tweeted Jeff Zentner that I loved it, and he tweeted back, you know. So it's about 3 kids, Dill, Lydia, and Travis, who are in their last year of high school, and in this small town in Nashville. Dill's father is in prison, and this happened before the book started, but he was put in prison for kiddie porn, and he was a Pentecostal preacher. So the whole town is pretty much against Dill, and they're blaming Dill. Or not blaming him, but the sins of the father get passed down to the son. Lydia is a dentist's daughter. She's privileged, but she doesn't use it to her advantage. She gives back to other people. And Travis is just a fun-loving, fantasy-reading boy who works at a lumberyard. I know that description doesn't, excuse me, doesn't make it sound like an interesting book, but boy, is this ever a good book. And apparently Jeff Zentner is writing another book, and not quite a sequel to this one, but there are characters from here in the other book. So I'm looking forward to that one. And thank you, Al Crate, for bringing this to me again. Wonderful book. It's a very easy to read book, very quick reading, and heartbreaking as well. Very heartbreaking. But yeah, I definitely give this one a go. And then I just finished this one this morning, and I flew through this one as well. There was so much more in this book than the previous last couple. And it was Deadlocked by Charlaine Harris, and it's book 12 in the Sookie Stackhouse series. And I can't really talk about this one because, you know, it's book 12. But there's more of a mystery in this one, like in the first 2 books, than there were in the last 6. So yeah, I was going to give this a 4, and then that ending happened, turned it into a 5. Yeah, really good. And I'm kind of excited to get to the next one, but kind of disappointed because it is going to be the last one. So that's what I read last week. This week, I am going. Currently, I'm reading Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes by R.L. Stine to my son. We just started this, and it's actually we just started it last night, and it's brother and sister playing ping pong in the basement. The next door neighbor comes over, and the brother and sister's dog always seems to go into the neighbor's yard and dig up the vegetable garden, and the father wants to kill the dog because the dog keeps, you know, unburying his melons. So now that me personally, I have nothing going because I just finished that book and started this video. So I am obviously picking up the last book, Dead Ever After by Charlaine Harris, and this is book 13. And it's the final book. I've been seeing these in the thrift stores, and I wasn't going to buy them, but now I'm thinking I want to have my own copy of the mass market paperback, because if you know me, you know I like mass markets the best. There's just something about the small size. They're easy to handle. I get more out of it when they're this small. Oh, but the writing's a lot smaller. Oh well. And then I stumbled on this one as well. It's by Michael Caine, Mary Janice Davidson, Jonathan Mayberry, which I've never read anything of his before, but I've heard is really good, and Shannon McGuire and others. Okay. Dead But Not Forgotten, Stories from the World of Sookie Stackhouse, Charlaine Harris and Tony L. P. Kellner. And these are short stories. Well, there's a whole bunch of other people in the back. Of not necessarily about Sookie Stackhouse, but about other characters throughout the world. Like there's one about Kenya Jones and Kevin, and those are the 2 cops that are in here. Amelia Broadway, her friend. And a story about Sookie and Bill. And and Eric. So it's just a bunch of little, not necessarily Sookie books, but in the same world. And then these two I just happened to, well, I had this for a while. And it's Sophie Kinsella, The Undomestic Goddess. I've been hearing a lot about it, so I wanted to pick it up. I've never read anything by her. And so, yeah, it just says, workaholic attorney Samantha Sweeting has just done the unthinkable. She's made a mistake so huge it'll wreck any chance of partnership. So, I think it's about her leaving her job and doing something else. And then this one, it's kind of like I Know What You Did Last Summer, I think. Although I've never seen that movie, I know the premise. It's by Lurleen McDaniel, and it's called Hit and Run. I think it's about a girl that gets killed in a hit and run, but all the people know about it. I just happened to see it at the library and thought, yeah, it sounds pretty good. And you notice it looked like an animal has chewed the edges, but there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, it was an accident, but when the people involved don't come forward, doesn't it become a crime? So yeah. So that's what I'm going to be picking up this week. Yeah, it was fairly long. I had an awesome reading week, and I'm hoping to have another awesome reading week. And I'm hoping to do another buddy read soon, but I need some time for fluffy reads. Those two books were just wow. I didn't get book hangovers, and I don't tend to get in reading slumps, but I need something nice and light. So let me know what you guys are reading this week. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see, if you like what you see, hit the like button, and if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you later. Bye.